I want to get better for my wife. I want to get better for my daughters. I want to get myself back together for all my relationships in my life. And I want to get better for me. This addiction to pornography and self-sex or masturbation, I realized it had to be more than just a moral thing for me. This thing had really gripped my life like nothing else had. It really took me on a really bad ride. Life is a gift, and we're not promised tomorrow. So
Yeah.
let's make the best of right now. Let's jump in, have faith, have hope.
Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well. I have here Mark from the implementation program, and he's been applying the system for a couple of months now, and he's willing to share his wins and story thus far. So, Mark, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and actually how you came across the Porn Reboot System?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to you, Orestes, and then just the whole program. I want to say thank you for this program because it's really been a major help. So yeah, my name is Mark. I'm 45 years old, and I'm married. Been married for about 20 years. We have two daughters, and I've had a major struggle with pornography addiction and self sex and those sort of things and lust issues. It's been about 25 years that I've been dealing with this. The last 3 years, I'm just going to go in here and say this. About 3.5 years ago, my wife talked to me and she said, Mark, I really don't love you anymore. And I think that our marriage might end in divorce because of just my actions, what happened with me. So that was like really my rock bottom. And I just want to say that I really took that very seriously. I took that to heart. I was pretty angry for a while, but
Mhm.
I knew that a wrecking ball had gone through our marriage relationship. And I really wanted to get myself together. And I'd wanted to get myself together for a very long time, but I just didn't know how to do it. I want to do it for my wife. I want to get better for my wife. I want to get better for my daughters. I want to get myself back together for all my relationships in my life, and I want to get better for me.
So, thank you for sharing, Mark. That was very vulnerable. We do really appreciate you giving us details on what led up to this moment, right? And
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you're feeling those intense emotions. And as you were coming into the program, how did you discover JK? How was that like, man, this is it? Like what was going on there?
I have a premium membership on YouTube, and I have a premium for a long time had a membership with not a premium membership, but a membership on Facebook. Yeah, so I just basically wanted to make sure I could find out any avenues besides Celebrate Recovery, and I go to this place called the Freedom House, which is local to me. And I've gone to these places to help me with my sobriety journey. I found out about JK on YouTube. I saw the feed, I guess, with the program, the way that YouTube works, it must have saw it must have seen the sort of channels that I look for help for on. And I found JK one day, and I said, I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna take a listen and see what he has to say. I just feel like I really needed to go all in, with everything on the table with my wife and with my daughters, and just trying to be a better man and trying to get my life under control while I'm at 45 years old now. I said I really need to get more information on this elevated recovery. And JK, he really lays it out there, and just puts it out there, and I really appreciated that. So I
Yeah.
wanted to find out more information about that. And so I took the dive.
Yes. And here you are, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So through the YouTube, like, hey, like many of us. So, all right. So as you came into this program, and what was like so different for you? What was like, I didn't think about this as like part of something that I should be doing to get control over my behavior. What was that thing?
Yeah.
How was it different for you from, because I know you mentioned Celebrate Recovery, right? So how
Yes.
was that different for you joining this program and system?
So Celebrate Recovery was really like a surface thing. It really got to it just hit the surface on where I was with my addiction and my hurts and habits and all those different things that I have going on in my life. When I started listening to JK, I probably listened to JK for several months just on the YouTube feed before I took the dive,
Mhm.
really, invested. So when I did take the dive, I spoke to, when I did my initial, intake, I spoke to Han. He was explaining to me, all the different avenues of recovery that are in with elevated recovery. And I was like, wow, just a little piece here. between Celebrate Recovery and going to the Freedom House, and I've done programs like the Conquer series and the Seven Pillars of Freedom. I've gone through those courses and I help co-lead in them. The one thing that's really missing is that elevator recovery, you get accountability partners, it's just so an all encompassing program that really gives you all the tools that you need to really get you over, to really get you to a place where you're no longer struggling with your addiction anymore.
Nice, brother. No, I appreciate you sharing that. And as you were navigating to this system, and
Yeah.
so what tools did you end up using? What was like so like impactful for you that kind of like, well, it clicked for you, like, whoa, actually, this is what I needed to understand my urges better.
There was just a lot of information, and I was really thankful for that. I'm going to be vulnerable here. I definitely needed to get all this information. I really need to do a better job of utilizing the tools because I'm so involved. With the
Mhm.
family, and I'm a co-leader at Celebrate Recovery, and I go to the Freedom House once a week. But I
Yeah.
really need to utilize all the tools that are available.
And so, what helped you understand better? Like, whoa, this is just not a moral issue anymore for me. It's more
Right.
like I need to rewire my brain process. So, what did you implement to help you get closer to that, to rewiring your brain?
To rewiring my brain, I would say it definitely was a moral issue for me early
Mhm.
on, even like years ago. I realized that this addiction to pornography and self-sex or masturbation, I realized it had to be more than just a moral thing for me. This thing had really gripped my life like nothing else had. I never had trouble with alcohol or drugs. Pornography was the drug of my choice. It really took me on a really bad ride. I really needed to have more accountability. I really needed to have more tools like the calls, like
Mm,
with
okay.
Dr. Eastman and I forget Milan,
Rankin?
yeah, and Rankin, yes, all of them. That's like cutting edge. Like you can't find that kind of help just anywhere. So
And
like
within
yeah.
those calls, brother. So what helped you, right? Like let's start with the coach that you kind of enjoy the most. What wins did you experience or tools did you implement from just attending those calls?
A lot of times I would just listen to the calls and I would gain insight from the other brothers that are
Mm,
also struggling like me. I am a vulnerable individual. I guess I get nervous sometimes when I have to like answer, like when I have to put myself like in the hot seat.
the hot, yeah.
And I need to take advantage of these calls more. The point is just hearing other people and their struggle with this, it helps me realize A, or one, I'm not alone, and B, there's help out there. You just have to utilize the tools.
But so your perspective of listening to relating to the brothers' shares
Yes,
really gave you insight as like, whoa, it kind of took away that part of you that's like, oh man, you know what? My problems are not unique. That
that's right.
perspective is very huge, right?
Yes,
And so for you, it's more like the group and the vulnerability from the brothers helped you kind of, wow, put the walls down a little.
that's right.
Yeah.
And it's important to be vulnerable and let like I've done a few videos of my a couple videos I can think of where I've gotten myself on the phone and then uploaded it to the private feed, just letting guys know this is what's been really helping me. It's really good, like to hear what other people have to say and hearing like from you, Reboot Hero, hearing from Reboot all the Reboot heroes and
Mhm.
hearing from my accountability partners getting on there like, wow, Mark, you really got on there and laid it out, you
Yeah.
know, that's powerful. Having that accountability, like one of my accountability partners,
I was about to say,
one
what, how was that effective, the accountability partners?
well, I work third shift. For me, working like 10:30 at night till 7 o'clock in the morning can get a little lonely. I have a brother on elevator recovery, and I also have a brother outside that I've been best friends with since high school, which has been
Yeah.
like, man, we've been best friends almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And so both of these guys, I can call in the early morning hours and I can talk to them and say, "Hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm struggling with." And just having those deep conversations at odd hours in the morning but also it's just really important to be able to have, I can't emphasize accountability enough, because if you're we're only as sick as our secrets, you know?
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that I'm letting my all my accountability partners, I probably have like almost 10 accountability partners, and some of them see my covenantized stuff, and some of them like like the two guys that I talk to on a daily basis, I can tell them anything and I can just let them know what's going on. Nothing is off limits for me, and I just appreciate having that.
Yeah, accountability partners has been, I know this because I obviously follow up with you. So yeah,
Yeah.
I see your guys' accountability is very, I could tell that bond is like close. And
Yes.
and and sometimes that's what we need, right? We, especially for brothers that come from like Celebrate Recovery or any like 12-step program, like
Sure.
having an effective accountability partner makes a difference,
Oh,
right?
big difference.
So
Yeah.
here and within the Porn Reboot System, yeah,
Mhm.
it's, you're there for this particular reason. But
Right.
as you get to, as you know, right, the more you stay off your behavior,
Yeah.
things tend to reveal itself. Like, oh, you know what, I don't know how to be vulnerable, or
Right.
I have unresolved issues, and that kind of comes out, and you're like, oh, you get to share that with someone that's in the same journey with you, and
That's right.
that's kind of like, hey, that just again, it solidifies that you can't do this on your own. You really do need someone to, at least we don't rely on them, but knowing that there's support there, and I could text, even if they don't reply, right? And you have the privilege that someone will pick up right then
Yeah.
and there. But in most cases, they don't really have to. But
Right.
the fact that you could have that in the back end is like, it's huge. We don't really see that importance until it compounds over the months. Like, oh, you know what? It becomes this. That's why we say brothers, right? We're brothers here, and that's just,
Absolutely.
and it's something that I to this day still use, accountability. So, but great. No, I appreciate you sharing that, brother. And so, how do you feel now, brother, versus when you started the program, right? How do you
Oh,
feel now about your life in general? How's that going?
my life in general is going a lot better, having the accountability, making multiple phone calls a week, having that available, being able to make an appointment with you or with any of the coaches, or being able to jump on a call, just having getting those alerts for those calls, like when Dr. Eastman or Rankin or Milan or you, Orestes, I mean, any
Mm.
of these calls, you can jump on them at any time, and they're always they're fruitful.
Yeah,
I wish I could pinpoint one thing. Like, it's not the program, it's my brain.
that's all good.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a tangent here, but it's really important to me to have these available channels to be able to get on. And honestly, like, I know I need to do a better job of doing like journaling and doing some of these things, but it's always in the back of my mind. Like journaling, for instance, is just a really powerful tool that you
Mhm.
can use, so you can look back and you can write things down and say, this is something that I really need to work on. You asked about my life. I'm thankful that so very thankful that my wife and we're in the same house. I have conversations with her. I have conversations with both of my daughters. My one daughter has somebody in her life that she's talking to, and I've had conversations with him. And so it really permeates my life, and it really just goes out, and it allows me to have meaningful conversations with the people in my life that I hold dearest to me. A
Yeah.
year ago, I thought, man, by now I might be divorced,
Wow.
or I might have been offered divorce papers.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
That's a
Uh,
win, man.
that's a win.
Hell yeah. Good to hear, man.
And I'm also going to say, like seeing JK, seeing brothers exercising, it's got me back into the gym. I honestly have a membership at a local gym, and that's important. Like getting in there, and because I'm definitely somebody that I'm trying to lose some weight,
All
and
right.
I'm working on it.
Mm.
But I want to continue in this program, and I want to be able to show my wife and my daughters and the people that are in my life that I still hold near and dear to me, that Mark's not this is not the end product. I'm still a work in progress. I'm a spiritual man. I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I
Mhm.
want to be the man that God wants me to be. I also want to be the man that my wife wants me to be. I want to be the man that my daughters want me to be, and the people in my life that I still share life with.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I mean, So I'm going to continue doing this. And I mean, if it comes around, if my whole year comes around and I have to renew, I'm willing to renew.
Let's go. I love it, brother. And you brought up a good point. Like you're working on your health, your
Yeah,
reboot, right? And
that's right.
and that's a reboot capital. So like, yeah, you're working on obviously the spiritual one strong, your reboot, your health reboot, your relationship one. So you are working things throughout your reboot that are important to you. And that's
Yes,
the concept, right? When we say define your reboot, what's important to you? What does your life look like as a result of having control of your behavior? And look at you now, right? You're gaining control of your behavior, and now it's you seeing the fruits a little, right? And it's
absolutely.
just been a couple of months, right? And
Yeah,
time goes like this, bro. I felt like I know we get on check-ins, but I felt like I haven't. It was like yesterday we talked, but I know it's been like a month or so or two.
it has.
Not this year for sure, but
Right.
it's like what I'm trying to say is your addiction, man. Like the world doesn't give a shit if you're rebooting or not. It's gonna
Right.
hit you. It's really how we'll respond and knowing that, hey, we got to stick through this no matter what.
That's
And
right.
brother, that's what you're doing, man. Like you're making it work. And for those brothers who are watching, like, oh, I have a weird shift at work.
Uh-huh.
This brother has a third shift and he's making this reboot work for him.
Yep.
Right. It's like, and you know, sometimes we have that like excuse, like, oh, the time, I don't have time to do. Hey,
Yeah.
man, we make things happen if it's important to us.
That's right.
Right. So I just want to acknowledge that from you, brother, because you're putting in the work and you're kind of like, you know, downplaying little things. But I just want to acknowledge your wins are up there, bro. And not to
Yeah.
compare, right? Because it's subjective, right? Our wins. I don't think there's such thing as win or a small or big win. A win is
Right.
a win.
A win is a win.
Yeah.
Right.
So Mark, I do appreciate you sharing your story so far. And it
Sure.
seems like you're making it happen, brother. And it's and I can see you feeling a lot. And it's like, man, you're getting it's so beautiful to see, brother. And you're becoming more human as time goes on. Because of the addiction robs that
Yeah.
experience, right? Of
Right.
just a human, even though it's considered pain or
Yeah.
suffering, that's just part of the human experience. And brother, I want you to ask this question to you. So for let's say someone's in the same shoes you are in, right? Like,
Yes.
man, even if they're married or not married, they're like, man, my woman's gonna leave me.
Yeah.
I feel like crap. I'm angry
Yeah.
at life, but
Yeah.
I know I have an issue with my behavior right now.
That's right.
What
Right.
would you tell that brother? What would you tell him to encourage him?
First of all, living in denial is not a good thing. You need to be honest with yourself and be honest with yourself. Do you have happiness and joy in your life? What do you want out of life? What do you want? And there are resources out there. And elevated recovery is a fantastic resource. There are so many tools. You cannot imagine how good life can really be if you just pause, take a look in the mirror, and say, there's help out there and I can do this. And that's where I started. I've already said, I've done Celebrate Recovery, I've done the Freedom House thing with
Mhm.
Conquer and Seven Pillars, but I knew something was missing. I don't think it was I don't think it was by chance that I found JK and Elevator Recovery and everybody that is involved in the program, like you, Orestes, and Han and Dr. Eastman and everybody. I would say to that person, one, you're not alone and it is worth it. You have somebody in your life that does want to leave or does want to divorce you, like what I was dealing with. Do you want that to work? Do you desire to have that person that you love still be in your life? Life is a gift, and we're not promised tomorrow. So
Yeah.
let's make the best of right now. Let's jump in, have faith, have hope. Everybody needs a little hope. And let's try to get to the bottom of these problems. The people in my life that have helped me get to where I'm at right now, I couldn't have gotten to this point in my life without everything that God has placed in my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it, brother. That's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that. And yeah,
Absolutely.
brother, yes. The first step is get out of denial, man. That is a true thing. And just trust. I like what you said. There is a glimmer of hope in you.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
take that. What do you got to lose, right? Everything
That's right.
in this case, right? But hey, we have the right system for you. And Mark
Yes.
here is only, hey, it's only the beginning. I mean, well, kind of a couple months in, right? Early
Yeah.
good stages still. And he's
Yeah.
making strides. And hey, what could 3 more months get you, right? It's literally that consistency and just trusting the process. The reboot is unique in its own way to the individual. It's never the
Absolutely.
same Obviously, the end goal is the same, but their journey is a little different. And that's what's beautiful about the system. You get to discover that and work through it and share your story, perhaps, right? Like the person that's
Absolutely.
watching. And it's like, wow, I thought I was hopeless. Now I have hope and I want to inspire others. You can only get that if you experience it, right? I could say tell the story, but until
Yeah,
you take those action steps,
that's
that's
right.
when you're going to see the change. But
Yeah.
Mark, I do appreciate you taking the time, brother. Hey, hopefully we could share more in a couple more months, right? Just to see where you're at and tell the brothers what's how you're winning and how your life's changing on a monthly basis. And
I'd be
brothers,
happy to.
there you go. Part two, guys. Part two will be out in a couple months. There you go. And all right, brothers, I'll see you in the next one. And Mark, thank you, brother.
You're welcome.